the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 is a lot thinner than ever before, but it's also a lot more expensive. With a starting price of 112,990 pesos for the entry-level variant, it's by no means cheap. I mean, it's never been cheap, but it's a lot more expensive now. But there's no doubt Samsung made a lot of changes to the Galaxy Z Fold 7 both inside and out. And if you haven't checked out our first impressions of this phone, you should know we were very impressed by it. But now we've had this phone for quite a long time and we're curious if it's worth it. But the more important question is this: is it worth the upgrade? Well, I'm Mr. from Yugatech, and let's find out this review. As I mentioned earlier, the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 is a lot thinner than before. It now measures only 8.9mm thick. For reference, that's nearly as thin as my iPhone 16 Pro. Without the case, the iPhone 16 Pro measures 8.3mm. With the case though, they're almost the same thickness. In fact, a good chunk of the thickness can be attributed to this raised camera island here. Without it, it's gonna be even a lot thinner. It's so thin, it doesn't even feel like you're using a foldable smartphone. Well, that's up until you open up the main display, because this is a foldable after all. It only weighs 215 grams also, meaning it's not that heavy. As mentioned before, this also helps it sit in our pockets a lot better. No big bulge to be seen, especially if you're wearing tight pants or shorts. With the metal frame and glass back panel, it feels very premium too. Despite the slimmer design, there's no change to the aesthetics of the phone. One look and you can quickly tell this is a Samsung. The triple rear camera is still located at the upper left corner, but this one does come with an island, which is no longer found on the S25 Ultra. One thing I did notice is that the hinges feel very sturdy. So much so that I had a hard time opening it as compared to the Galaxy Z Fold 6 we tried out last year. Despite being this thin, the Galaxy Z Fold 7 still comes with a USB-C port at the bottom and even a dual SIM card slot at the top. It also comes with dual stereo speakers like before. The power button, which doubles as a fingerprint scanner, is a lot thinner than before too. Despite that, it didn't have a hard time reading my fingerprints even if it was unfolded. Overall, we like how Samsung designed the Galaxy Z Fold 7 with how thin it is right now. Since it's also a bit longer and wider, I didn't even need to use the main display that often, and I could do a lot more with the cover screen. The cover screen of the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 now measures 6.5 inches. It's not a big jump as compared to the Galaxy Z Fold 6, 6.3 inches, but those 0.2 inches make a difference. As mentioned earlier, I no longer find myself opening up the main screen to browse social media or even the internet. I also like the nice thin borders and even borders all around. You can do almost everything on the cover screen already. It does have a very wide aspect ratio of 21:9 though, similar to widescreen videos, and with that, some apps might look a bit off, especially games. The same can be said when you're watching videos on their cover screen because you do get black bars on the side. But of course, this is a foldable smartphone after all, so you will be using the main screen as well. When watching videos or playing games, of course, it's best done on the 8-inch main display. Both the cover screen and main display feature an LTPO AMOLED panel with a 120Hz refresh rate. This means there's no visual change when you switch screens apart from the larger size. But aside from the size increase, a major improvement Samsung made to the main display is the crease. It's barely visible anymore. The crease has always been an issue for almost any foldable device, but on the Galaxy Z Fold 7, you can barely notice it 90% of the time. Most of the time when you're using the main display, you won't even notice that the crease is there. It's only when you purposely try to look for it will you notice it. With that, you can very much enjoy binge watching videos on the Galaxy Z Fold 7 for long periods of time. But how long will this crease hold up in the future? Well, only time will tell. Similar to older Galaxy Z Fold models, you can set it up folded wherein half the screen displays the video with the other half as the controller. It works best if you wanted to lay it down for watching videos with the group. As for the speakers though, the quality isn't as great as I expected them to be. They are loud, but it lacks a bit of quality and the soundstage isn't that good. I suspect it has something to do with the body being a lot thinner than before. With that, it's best to watch videos with your favorite pair of Bluetooth headphones. Moving on to the cameras. The Galaxy Z Fold 6 didn't really have the best cameras in the Samsung lineup, especially as compared to the S24 Ultra of that time. But on the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7, Samsung has addressed that completely. That's because it now features a new 200 megapixel main shooter. The rest of the cameras though, they're pretty much unchanged from before. You get a 10 megapixel telephoto and a 12 megapixel ultra wide. When taking photos, you now have the option to shoot in 12 megapixel, 50 megapixel, or even 200 megapixel mode. At 50 megapixel and 200 megapixel modes, you don't have access to zoom, but at least maximizes the camera to its full potential. As for the results, well, I'll let the photos speak for themselves. They're amazing in almost all kinds of lighting conditions, even in low light. There's no blown out highlights or grainy parts when you're shooting in dark environments. Best of all, you have great sharpness and contrast all around. It's very much similar to the images we were able to capture on the Galaxy S25 Ultra's main camera. And even at 2x zoom, the image quality is retained. It's not until you go beyond 3x zoom will there be a noticeable drop in quality. And the same goes for the ultra-wide. With that, I highly recommend staying in 1x or even 2x zoom at most when you're using the camera of the Galaxy Z Fold 7. For selfies, there are two front-facing cameras, a 10 megapixel camera on the main screen and another 10 megapixel on the cover screen. But honestly, you can just use the 200 megapixel main rear camera to take your selfies for you. Just turn on the cover screen while taking photos to show the subject or you what they look like to take the perfect selfie. When it comes to video, it's a similar story. The rear cameras are capable of shooting at a max of 8K at 30 FPS. There is an ultra steady mode, but it only works at 4K at 60 FPS max. But if you have slightly steady hands, you can work around with it even without ultra steady mode turned on. And I doubt you'll be using 8K 30 all the time because it takes up a lot of space. And as for the video, well, you can check them out on screen right now. Overall, the upgrade with the main camera on the Galaxy Z Fold 7 has made it a lot more capable when taking photos and videos. It's still not at par with the S25 Ultra, but you're halfway there with the 200 megapixel main shooter. Under the hood, the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 packs the latest Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset. Our review unit comes with 12GB of RAM and 256GB of storage, which is the base model for reference. But you can get it up to 16GB of RAM and 1TB of storage. From our experience, 256GB isn't really enough for this phone, especially for our use case. And if you're gonna be downloading a lot of apps, which you will be with a foldable smartphone like this, it's not enough. And I highly recommend you get the 512GB variant at the very least. Given how capable the Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset is, we had no doubts this is gonna be a capable phone. It ran almost all the apps we could think of for productivity and gaming really well. When it comes to games, it ran Genshin Impact and Zenless Zone Zero on max graphics without any issues. The same could be said for lighter titles like Blue Archive and Mobile Legends. As you can see from the benchmark scores on screen right now, the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 scored really high on Antutu and the other benchmarks we ran. But again, that's to be expected as we saw from the S25 Ultra, which runs the same chipset. However, there is the issue of heat. The Galaxy Z Fold 7 heats up quite fast, and I'm pretty sure it has something to do with how thin the phone is. It's not that big of a deal, but can be concerning in the long run if it heats up consistently. Out of the box, Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 runs on One UI 8, which is based on Android 16. It's essentially an upgraded version of One UI 7, which we've all come to love. Featuring new and improved AI features, the UI feels very much the same as before, with some slice of life improvements. So if you're a Samsung user, you will definitely enjoy using One UI 8. When it comes to the AI features, Google Gemini's presence can be felt a lot more and runs on both displays without issues. There's better integration too, making it a lot more practical to use. But mind you, some of these features are specific for the Fold 7. Of course, you still have AI eraser in the gallery and even audio eraser. And as the name suggests, the AI eraser can delete whatever you want in this gallery, and audio eraser deletes unwanted audio, whether it's voice line or noise, from your video clips. This being a foldable, One UI 8 also has a few new tricks up its sleeve for this foldable phone. Other new upgrades include better security features and an improved quick share. Other than those, it's very much a carryover from everything we've liked about One UI 7. Best of all, there's no bloatware too. If you want to know more, we'll be doing a deep dive on One UI 8 in a future video, so stay tuned for that. One thing that Samsung didn't change on the Galaxy Z Fold 7 though is the battery life. It still packs a 4,400 mAh battery pack, which isn't exactly that big. With that, we didn't really expect any improvements in terms of battery life. After just 30 minutes of playing Genshin Impact, the battery already dropped from 100 to 87%. For reference, this was played on the main display. Even when I'm out and about and I'm not really using the phone that often, there was still some battery drain. And the benchmarks showed a similar result. Overall, we really like what Samsung made to the Galaxy Z Fold 7. It addresses most of the issues we had with the previous Z Fold series, such as the lackluster camera and even the thick body. On the Galaxy Z Fold 7, the camera is a lot more capable. Its slimmer size and bigger cover screen means you don't have to open up the main display that often either. Not to mention you have the new features of One UI 8. It's still far from perfect with its lackluster battery life and the audio quality, but it's a step in the right direction for Samsung. However, all of that upgrades come with a high price. Not that the Z Fold 6 or the Z Fold 5 were any more cheaper. As mentioned earlier, the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 starts at 112,990 pesos for the 12 plus 256GB variant, similar to the one we have here. If you want the 12 plus 512GB variant, that one will retail for 120,990 pesos. As for the top spec 16GB plus 1TB variant, that will set you back 140,990 pesos, which is a lot of money. That's a lot of money for a smartphone, no doubt. And I'm sure you can get a bunch of discounts on the Samsung website if you pre-order or whatnot. But still, for the same price of the Galaxy Z Fold 7, you can already get the 1TB variant of the S25 Ultra. But then again, that one doesn't come with a foldable screen like this one. And of course, if you want to be productive and you want the style factor, you can't go wrong with the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7. But what do you guys think of the new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7? Is it something you'd cop, or would you get a different foldable, maybe the Flip 7? Whatever the case, share your thoughts in the comment section down below. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, please do drop a like and subscribe to watch more. Don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok. And of course, visit yugatech.com for the latest tech news and reviews. Once again, this has been Jose. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!